doing this thing. It's making sure that we're going live right now. And right now we are live. And today we have our topic. And this was something that like was, brought up to us like the last minute. But I think this is like a really interesting topic and something that we could delve deep into. So you want to tell me what our topic is today?
Should black people go back to Africa?
Black people going back to Africa. So first off, what are your thoughts on that? As far as like, quote unquote, going back to the motherland, like.
I could get to that right now, but let me ask you a set of questions.
All right.
Because I'm African.
All right.
What is your ethnic background?
Well, if you ask me, I'm gonna just say like I couldn't tell you exactly. Like I can't. Like I could say that I'm black, but as far as like that's just when I say I'm black, that's just how can I say it's just like a box to check off. You know what I mean? But like if we delve into it, like, I got black in there, but like if you go on my dad's side, his grandmother, my grandmother's side on my dad's side, like, her father and stuff, like they're white and they're like Irish and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's further on the line, my guy.
But when you talking about like makeup, like.
Are you black?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Bro, that's it.
I know, but this is what I was saying when I was here for the first episode and we had Ahmed on here.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, over there it's not just like, all right, you black, because then everybody black.
They got color, different shit.
Yeah, they got.
But that's just stupid colorism bullshit. Yeah, everybody, you black, my nigga.
Yeah.
So, do you feel as a black man in America you've been treated fairly as other Americans have been treated?
I can't say always, no.
Nah.
I mean, I'll say like this. I haven't had like some of the more severe brushings, but it's still certain things that I'll notice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, it's like
white people clutching purses in the elevator and shit.
I don't even think it's that, but like being followed around in the store, or like if it's people at like the table or something, like they watching me like a little extra harder, you know what I mean? But like I'll say for me, like
you gotta try and be funny so people don't feel like you about to do some shit in the room.
I guess you could say like something like that, or like
put people at ease. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when you walk in, you feel like, oh, there's a little bit of tension here. Like
I'll tell you this, and this might have been something that what's going on, Jay? Am I saying that right, Jay? Is that the little? But
I can't read that, bro.
But anyway, what I was saying is we had our family reunion down in Virginia Beach, and I had woke up early, like super early.
Black, you went to Virginia Beach, all black, bro.
No, but hold on. Listen, this one's interesting. So I woke up super early, and I was like, damn, I want some breakfast, because we ain't really like grocery shop or whatever, because we knew we was gonna eat out. Like we got some food for.
You ever eat chitlins?
Nah.
Okay.
So I go to this spot. I think it was called Mary's or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So I walk in, all white people sitting at the tables. They was this the hostess, at the register, whatever.
And you hear a record scratch when you walk in?
Nah, but I can tell you, like, honestly, like when I walked into that environment, even though it wasn't hostile and nobody was like doing anything, like I got tense.
Should have told me it was white.
But not like so. And I had talked to people about this, right? And I was saying like, even though nothing was like it wasn't a hostile environment, and I didn't feel like, because I received excellent service. Like,
but you felt like some shit.
Yeah, like I felt like in a sense a little uncomfortable. Like I was
like Bob and Larry could have flipped shit.
Like I was just like, felt like, and like my thought was just like, yo,
your man's commented something.
He said African unity.
Oh God, that's all it is, bro. But my brother.
I feel you, but like I was saying with him, when he go over there in Africa, he's like, it's not the same dynamic. It's not like, oh, we just African. He said like we might have issues with people because they from another tribe. Like
that's just stupidity based on tribalism, which is something that through education you can overcome. But if your people are gonna be willfully ignorant on it, then there's not gonna be any advancement.
Now, how would you say for that? Like, because like, we all like human in a sense, but like as far as like identity, like, because we still use like race and culture and tribes and stuff to like as far as that to identify ourselves with, like, and we in a sense, even though it's egotistical, we take pride in it. You know what I mean? Like we really do. Like.
But sometimes you don't when you see niggas acting up.
Yeah.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? Niggas take pride in being black when it's advantageous to them. But for the most part, you just an American.
Dribble out. What's going on, bro?
Or you just a person. At the end of the day, that's how I look at it. I'm just a person. But yeah, I'm going to say I'm African, I'm West African, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to be funny or it's advantageous to the conversation at the time. But really, I'm not walking around thinking that I'm African all the time. Like, sometimes I'm reminded of it by other people.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, but then in a sense, like, you still have those people that, you know, they wear that banner proudly. Like, Americans, they're like you seen the American, I'm American, you know what I mean? Like they got the flag with the eagle and stuff. Like they really take.
But that's because they don't have their own identity, so they're trying to use that as like your personality is America. Come on, bro, you sound crazy. You like a stereotype. Yeah, that's the worst thing to be is a stereotype.
Like, what do you mean by that? By being the stereotype? Like,
like, bro, you're a walking meme. Like, fuck you mean? Like, you got the flags, you got the Bud Light. Like, fuck out of my face. You're just crazy.
And I'll tell people that as far as like stereotypes, I'm just like, you know, it's a stigma that like black people like macaroni and cheese, and I don't like macaroni and cheese. I don't care who make it.
I shouldn't be on this podcast.
I don't care who make it. Like, I'm gonna tell you straight up, it don't matter who make it. Like,
I feel like you starting.
Nah. I'm
lactose or some shit.
Nah, it's just like it never. For one thing, I'm not a cheese person. Like I eat like cheesesteak and like pizza and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got cheese on it.
I know, but I can't do something like even with lasagna, I can't have too much of that ricotta in there. I start cringing.
Now you got it.
So and like specifically with macaroni and cheese, and like maybe I had it like when I was too young and I didn't have a palate for it. But it don't matter.
The government cheese or something?
No, it was just like the regular box, like the Kraft or Velveeta or whatever the shows. Like I
guess to get back on topic, do you feel like this land is yours?
No. And somebody said, actually it was Brother Polite. He did an interview with Vlad, and he said I don't live in a black community. He said I live in a white community populated by like black people.
Exactly.
And he was making sense because he was saying like, you know, if this was our community, we would be owning the hospitals and X, Y, and Z.
You wouldn't be paying taxes to the government if you really owned it.
Yeah, I mean, but in the sense of returning to the quote unquote motherland, it's just like. Even in going there, if you go there with a certain mindset, like if you go there thinking that, okay, once I land there, all my problems going to be solved, you still going to perpetuate.
That's not anywhere. Yeah. Like even if it's like niggas saying like, oh, I'm about to go to Atlanta and blow the fuck up. You got a plan, my nigga? Like, are you just about to go there and fuck about? Like,
yeah. And I mean, that's one thing that people don't even.
What'd he say?
He was like, Egypt is better than Sierra Leone. Come on, Bobby.
That's native bitch ass. Shut up, bro. Y'all stole Egypt, bro. I'm gonna say that. Yeah.
But so what's that? Like as far as like going there with a plan, and I was like telling people, I was like, when you go over there, like what you gotta understand is it's gonna be a complete culture shock to you. And like you might go in there like seeking your quote unquote African identity, but when you get there,
it ain't gotta be all that. All you gotta do is just go there and know that this is black. I'm trying to better myself. You ain't gotta go there to get your fucking African groove back, my nigga. You could just go back there and buy some land, build upon it, maybe like rent some off to some people and develop it. That's all you really gotta do. It ain't gotta be about you trying to have some deeper meaning in it. It's just knowing that you're better off here than you would be in America. That's really it. It's not even about the fact that you're trying to be more African or something. No, just the white people fucking y'all over. You better off being in Africa where your money's worth more and people more loyal, really.
So in that sense, what do you think is like what is stopping people from doing that?
I think lack of education, because people assume Africa is like a bunch of lions and fucking zebras gonna kick you in your face and shit. Like
we were saying that he was just like anytime you see Africa portrayed, it's like the Help a Child Foundation.
My nigga, what? Those rich ass Africans, bro. Like, but it's the same thing over here. Like people with money don't really give a fuck about people at the bottom. It's classism. So I'm like, when you come over there, don't think like it's gonna be like, I guess, a black like what the fuck is that shit called? It was a sketch on Negro Land. It was on fucking, you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know which one, but it was just funny. I know which one you was talking
Key
about.
and Peele. They had this show like it was like a Black Wonderland. Don't assume it's that, but know that your opportunity is probably gonna be better there if you already have the wealth to build it up over there. So you wouldn't move over there if you're poor. I'm saying if you got the money to move over there and develop it, so that more people can see that they can do that too and lead by example. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? It's one of those things that it is, in the sense, of untapped market. I remember I seen this article that they were saying that.
Oh no, it's tapped, bro. It's tapped out.
And they were saying that China is actually which more putting infrastructure in there because they see the market in there. So I mean, but
they see a lot, but they're also fucking up China too with all that smog and pollution. They're trying to fix it, but you know they multiply, so they gotta get more land.
So I mean, so with the people who do like have like the money and the foundation and the roots set up, what do you think is in a sense stopping them?
Same thing stopping those people here. Greed. That's it. Basic human emotion.
That, and I wouldn't even just say like greed, but also like comfort. It's just like when somebody builds themselves up to that level and they say like you kind of get in the formula like, okay, if this is where I'm seeing the most success, this is where I'm going to end up staying. You know. Like pretty much.
No, ain't not, because you could give money to charity, bro, and be comfortable where you at because you got so much money. It's not like you're about to go broke in a year.
True.
You feel me? Like if you started a nonprofit, you could just have that built up and then have other rich people throw money in that and then give it out over time to people and really have like results come from it. But they're not thinking about that. They just want the money, go to Europe and buy expensive clothes and stuff like that. They don't really care about the people. It's the same thing here, bro. Skin color don't matter. It's about classism. At the end of the day, and economic freedom that people don't have, so they don't have the information and to know that Africa isn't like that. Because that's like with the lion and bears things. Like with the lion thing, that's like saying over here in New Jersey, you walking around, a bear just gonna eat you off the street. How often do you see bears?
I think I've seen like one in the
exactly. Why would a lion be around people if they know the people gonna attack it?
Yeah, true.
It's a predator. It's not stupid.
And another thing that you said is like in a sense is a lack of knowledge. It's just like people kind of they since they grow up here in America, they know what to expect. They know what the market is like. Know.
There's also welfare ignorance because Google will teach you anything.
True, but in essence, they have a better understanding of how to function in this climate. Like they see like basically in a sense what we call the game, and they figure out how to manipulate it and make it work for them. And it's in a sense, it's kind of hard to get people out of that mindset. Like I said, if you see something that's
crabs in a barrel.
Yeah, but not even just being crabs in a barrel, but if you see like, okay, like all right, let's take an example. Like, okay, maybe say like 50, 100 years back when you start seeing less and less opportunities, or you feel like when the inequality was blatant, you know, like when it was just like you might have been better off like completely starting over right there. But like now it's in a sense like since we have so many years of gain and experience, it's just like I feel like people say they kind of treat like I know how to get it here. Like I know how to make it work. I know how to make it multiply.
In America?
Yeah. Like they know how to make it work and multiply in America. And when they continue on to their new ventures, they continuously see how the markets and the climates change. And instead of like starting over somewhere else, they just adjust.
Yeah, really starting over. It's probably like buying a vacation home, essentially. Like you just buying that land over there, and you having it built up.
Like and this is what I would say. Like, what would be something that you think could be implemented, like as far as like.
Well, I mean, look at Akon.
Yeah, supplying the power.
He's not the first rich black person. Like, from he's African, but like. From America, he's not the first rich black person. It can be done. He's not the first rich African. It can be done. If he can do it, why can't these other people with money do it? What's the issue?
You're right about that.
Okay. You feel me? And he not even really using his own money. He going over to China and the Arab people and talking to them, having contracts built up to build up the infrastructure of Africa because they see the wealth in it.
It could be one of those things that like it ends up catching on late. It was just like we seen this same thing.
But, I mean, he's doing it right now. Who else doing it?
I know, but it's like the same thing that we feel like sometimes people catch on late. Now I remember this. This was back in 2011. I remember Swiss Beats said that K-pop was going to be like the next biggest thing, and this was in 2011. And lo and behold, years later, BTS, and not even just them, but now they got this whole global phenomenon. People are like now paying attention. It's one of those things. It's just like sometimes people don't want to be the ones to take like the first building steps. They want to be innovative. Yeah, they want to see. They want to see the building being built, and once it's like halfway there, there was just like, oh, let me get on in on this until it finishes, and that's like, I mean, we see that with
that's like the late majority. I was seeing something on Instagram about that.
Yeah, and I mean, but that when you see that, that's a lot of the people. I mean, like you have like the innovators, and they the ones who really like go out and start these things from scratch. But then you have the people that come in here and they make it big and colossal. And going back to what I was saying about the Korean artists, one thing that they just now getting hip to. Remember, like back in like the 90s when all these hip hop, not even just hip hop, but all these artists was getting screwed out of their contracts and stuff like that.
They're not. I don't think they're gonna get any money off of that.
They just now getting hip to that. They was just like, because they was like ripping off like a lot of the bands that was coming up in Korea. Yeah, they was ripping them for a lot of money. Yeah. So it's just like it takes time for people to kind of like work out the kinks, and once they see like the kinks are kind of worked out, then they feel like a little bit more comfortable. There's just like, all right, I see how they did it. I seen their process, what worked for them and what didn't work for them, and now I'm going to jump on board with a solid plan.
Do you know any K-pop artists that works for that tried to get their money and stuff?
Like tried to get their money into
from the label or whatever.
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah. They just get hip to it.
Yeah, okay. Like as far as like they had like these whole things. They was going like through Explained, and it was like telling like how like the early emerging artists was just like again like just like we didn't. They didn't really understand like the legal precedents that they were signing on to. It's like people just saying like, oh yeah, you're gonna be a big star, and it's like, oh really?
It's a bank loan.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But and we know that through like watching interviews, like I was saying, like why most artists are broken. They go down to the breakdown to like the Tribe Called Quest when they're breaking down like, oh, the video cost and this and this and this. But
well, really, if you just read the contract, you're gonna know what you're getting into.
But again, it's just like at that time, like
you weren't reading it because you needed the money, which is why I understand both sides.
Yeah, and it's like because again, even looking at some of like the legal terms, like for like just a basic contract, like you'll be looking over that like that legal jargon, and you get a headache. You know what I mean? Like, but I think more so now, and this is one thing I was saying, that people like the music might be like they say might be losing some quality, but I would say this, like a lot of these artists today are way more business savvy than their predecessors.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. Look at Chance. Look at Russ.
Yeah, like Chance drops music like every what.
Come on.
In a sense, it will be the same thing with like how you're saying with that building and development in Africa. It's like it's people who see the gold in there, and it's people who've always seen the gold in there and knew how to get it out of there, and they seen exactly what to do. But again, I guess in a sense, it's one of those things that we might end up catching late on too.
I mean, I don't think, but still, like Akon is doing it. He not the first rich black person. Yeah. I don't think he the first black person to know some rich Arabs, because I'm pretty sure they probably flying out celebrities for private shows and stuff in Dubai. He probably not the first rich black person to know some rich Chinese people. How is Akon doing it before everybody else?
Again, he has, and I'm gonna say this, he has direct roots to there.
To Africa?
Yeah, as opposed to somebody who has like that kind of like mentality, like this is like the only place that they know. You know?
Do you feel like this is like yours, truthfully?
I feel like I stay here, but it's not mine until I own some property.
Do you ever want to go to Africa?
Yeah, I definitely.
Okay.
I remember when I was talking to Ahmed, and he was showing me the only thing was just like that's a trip I had to save up because I seen that price ticket for that plane alone. I was just like, I'm like, see, it's different for you because you got family there, so you're not paying hotel and food and all of that.
Nah, none of that.
But I mean, and again, like you said, when you look at parts of Africa, it's like it's well developed, you know, and now like the entertainment part of it is like skyrocketing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, America doesn't have to be super proud of the world. If all the black people leave, this place is gonna be super unseasoned, bro. What? Are you serious? It's gonna be boring.
So now let me ask you this:
no money
in a situation where everybody just packs up and leaves and go to Africa.
I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't say everybody because you got to be realistic with it.
Yeah,
you got to have the rich people come in first
and build
it up, and then they probably start like a nonprofit organization that has people move over there. Because you can't just have everybody move at once. Because I don't know what America would do, but they probably do some shit. Like, no, not all y'all niggas leaving.
Like,
some of y'all got to stay.
We putting a freeze on passports right now.
Yeah,
like, it's too many. It's too many.
That'd be crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, but and that with that, like you said, it's not even just like successful people, but different business models. Like you gotta have like people in the medical profession. You gotta have
all that.
Yeah, engineers. You gotta have scientists, school teachers. Develop like you really gotta and. That's a big step. Like that's a coalition, and you know, I think because things have changed so much in America drastically that it's just like we don't have that sense of urgency like that we did before. Like you see, anytime people want to go to like another country, it's a sense of urgency. Like the country is like war torn, or they can't practice like their freedom or religious rights, or like they just can't. They really have no sense of employment, and that's why we get like all these other people from these like countries. Like anytime we've seen these huge migrations, it's been times of desperation, and I don't think we've hit that point. Like a lot of the things that we deal with is like systematic, but we don't deal with like war and torn areas. Like it's not like I'm not going to walk out of my apartment one day in a bomb. Like that is a fear that I will never experience, or I'll never be in a position.
I mean, if you look at Chicago, the murder rate was the same rate as like a war-torn country.
Yeah.
So it's like you are dealing with a war, just a different type.
Yeah.
Amongst each other, which deals with education and funding. But America not gonna give you that funding because they want you to kill each other. So why would you stay here when they're feeding you the poison? You know they're feeding you the poison.
Yeah, one thing they say, you got to be hip to the matrix. You got to see between the lines, and again, like if you can make a move big enough like that to like really pack up what you have and then make a whole.
But I wasn't like I said. I was saying like the rich people, and then they have, because you got to be realistic with it. You can't just move over there. You ain't really got as much money, and then like how you really gonna maneuver over there if you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Because the rich people from America really set up programs to have African Americans come over here, and then they have like a social network to like talk to and like have their like I guess footing settled. So when they come there, they already know what they're about to do and stuff.
I think, and I'm gonna say this. I think another part of that is not really being able to develop here now, and then like you said, even with like the black millionaires, because a lot of the successful black people like that we see now,
some of them only want to be black.
I mean, but like when you see that, like a lot of them got it from the mud. Like it's very few people that we see inherited the wealth. Anybody, I'm not gonna say anybody.
If they did, you probably don't know about them.
Yeah, a majority of the black millionaires and billionaires that we see today have gotten it from the mud. Like it was not inherited, and it's. Again, it's one of those things like because it wasn't inherited, it's like they feel like this is where they put in their work to get where they at, and it might be hard. I'm not even gonna say it might be something that they actually like debated on doing or like really thought about, because we see a lot of successful black celebrities. They always go back to Africa, or say they go back to Africa, or like visit the motherland, but in that sense, what makes them come back?
To America?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And and this is something that I was saying. Ahmed, we really have built an identity here, even through like all the like the racial strife and inequalities and slavery, things like that. We've taken that struggle.
Is it a good identity?
I think it got misconstrued somewhere. The things that we have developed, like as far as like arts and cultures, even the advances that we made in like natural medicine and science, and even just like in music, like
a lot of things in Black culture now.
Yeah, like
real with you.
If we see, they say like America is the world TV screen, right? But
it's entertaining.
Yeah, like so. But think about where a big part of that came from. A majority of part, like from rock and roll to R&B to pop music. So it's just like,
but it came from the African rhythm.
Yeah, but it's like we took that struggle, but the struggle and the strife and the stories are from here. It came from like that being beat so far down, and now you really gotta like climb off, basically like climb off from nothing. And make,
some people,
yeah, and make a way. So it's just like,
but that doesn't mean you can't pay something for it.
You're right.
What is it? What are you losing by paying something for it?
You're right about that.
Are you about to lose money? No. Is it pride? What is it?
I can't tell you exactly.
It's a chip on your shoulder.
So what
because no one gave you anything, you had it hard, so you like fuck everybody else. They gotta have it hard.
It's not fuck everybody else, but
that's how I look.
And I'm gonna tell you this.
Because even Trenton.
I'm gonna tell you this though, and this is something that would that made sense to me in a sense. And I'm not gonna say that it's always right, but they said it is not the job or responsibility of the successful man to take care of the unsuccessful man.
It's not. But you're also a dickhead by saying
that. I don't think.
It's not. It's not. Be real with you. It's not his problem.
Yeah.
But
when
why can't you do that?
Yeah, when someone has amassed like so much,
both
like,
are true.
Both are true. That it should be, generosity should be a staple somewhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, both are true. But I believe in karma.
Yeah.
And not even that. I don't have an issue helping people because I learned a lot about music and all this stuff, like shows to do, all stuff. I tell people all the time what the shows to do, what not to do. If your music trash, people gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Like, I have no issue helping someone move forward and giving someone the knowledge that I've attained. Why not?
What about that?
I don't see you as competition. Not to say that like as a derogatory, but I don't see you as competition because you doing better isn't gonna affect me.
You're right about that. But so a step away from America, as far as African power is unifying, like as far as like if
Africa not unified.
I know, but like, and that's what I'm saying. Like
it was going to be unified, but America stepped in
with that old Gaddafi.
Yeah.
Making the gold currency.
You know what it is.
So
but I don't know if we can say that on the internet.
But I was saying, like, as far as like
shit deep, bro.
Before we could go over there and step in, it would have to be like who would kind of say like they would be, in a sense, welcome to the idea. Do you think that it would be a position where they might feel uncomfortable with the situation, where it'd be like,
who is they?
Like,
you talking about black people?
Not Africans, in a sense.
Africans would be uncomfortable with the situation?
In a sense like
that.
Are
they mad at Akon? Are they mad at any of these celebrities that come help the villages build wells and stuff like that? There's white people over there doing the same thing, fam. People who have nothing will take help.
You're right.
From anybody.
But this is what I was saying, as far as like, building with the successful African countries and like aligning.
What do you mean, like Nigeria, South Africa?
Yeah, and see, like, and this is ignorance on my own. Like, I don't know, like all the own ones that like really have their own infrastructure, but like really aligning with them, like how Akon did, and put those.
I mean, you only got to talk to who you need to talk to. If someone doesn't want to help you, you ain't got to talk to them. There's always ways around people. Talk to Akon. What?
Bridge the gap.
He's
Akon.
Doing it. Talk to Akon. He's doing it.
He said it best. Akon, bridge the gap. Bridge the gap, Akon.
He been doing it.
Yeah, but
who? I don't know what that is.
But so let us say that, like, so what do you think the conversations are just not happening, like between like Akon and like the Black American success? It's just like, are the conversations not happening, or are they happening and it's like a plan's being developed? Or
I can't really speak on that because I don't know. I'm not in them rooms. I don't know who's talking to who.
And that's the thing. Like we don't know where, like, we don't really know how far like somebody.
But I felt like if they was doing it, they would probably say something about it.
And I mean, another thing that we might not know is like, it's like if small projects might be going on and they might not really be getting broadcasted. You know, it might be somebody, it might be like a Dave Chappelle that's been over there that's like building up like some kind of foundation or something, but it just don't necessarily get the press. You know, bad news is the top news.
I'll still talk to Akon, fam.
Yeah. So, but it's just like, even so, when Akon was making those plans, or when China was putting that infrastructure in there, it didn't get like a lot of headline coverage. But to
certain people, but if you was looking for it, it did.
But you know, we see a mass shooting is covered across the country.
Well, that's going to get more attention because negative news sells.
Exactly. And
Facebook does the same thing.
I know, and exactly.
It promotes all the nonsense.
And
it's crazy.
That's why sometimes, you know, I gotta, like, when I see too much of the local drama going on, I'm like, it's too much of it. It's like, I gotta sign off. But
I mean, all of it's toxic.
Yeah. So
all of it's toxic.
So it's just like, it could be an instance where it's just like, it might be going on, but we don't see it, because even with like I said, with the entertainment, like, we seeing that one, like, these are like the most African artists that I've heard in my life. Like, that's like that's worldwide known. Like, as opposed to like
who?
Who was he just showing me? The C Nasty or something like that.
Yeah, he's from South Africa.
Yeah, and WizKid, he was another one. The other guy he was showing me, Francis was showing me like this other CD. But like, I see that, and even to the point, like, I was seeing like some Netflix series that was like African original. You know what I mean? Like, shot in like South Africa, or like, we see now that like it is scaling up, and it might not be on like a super broad scale, but it's definitely
like a slow build through social media.
It's
and music.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
And so it's just like, we see those, but we might not necessarily be like, we don't get like all the coverage of what Akon's doing. Like, it's something that you gotta go search for. Like, I seen that on the.
If you want knowledge, you gotta go seek it, because it's not gonna just come to you.
But that's the thing, not everybody want it. Like, and that's
not everybody want it, but that's willful ignorance.
And like,
that's what I'm saying. You can't
help people
make a drink. You can't make a horse drink from a river if it don't want to drink.
Yeah,
going to drown in it.
And again, like, for, like you said, again, before the common man does it, they have to see the successful man and do it twice before they dip their feet in. You know what I mean? Like, before, because
they kind of been moving up and down Africa doing this.
Yeah. So, but again, like I said, you know, it might be, again, if we look into it, it might be some projects that's like celebrities, like, or successful people that's like really going into it and establishing stuff. So, I don't know. I have to see. And I don't know. Again, I still think it needs to be like some kind of agreement between like the Black American and African to say, like, we see what's going on.
There ain't gotta be no agreement.
Huh?
Ain't gotta be no agreement.
I think so. I think that, like, moving at that pace.
They're super welcoming. It's just sometimes when it's just some of them, when they come to America, they feel like they're better than everybody. But it's not like just they feel they're better than Black people. They feel like they're better than They feel like they're better than everybody. The Chinese, the Hispanics, they feel like they're better than everybody. But that's more like a pride thing. And then it slowly boils down into like a negativity thing, where how they have like stereotypical views of African people, which is just prejudice, which is just learned behavior. So through education, we all can be better.
You're right. But again, like I'm saying, like as far as like the coverage, it might be something that we might hear. Like I don't know what this was. Let me.
I'm telling you, just Google Akon. Like
I know, but I said it's like one of those things. We might like we're talking about it now, and we might hear like this big explosion, maybe like 20, 25 years now. Oh, that the African market is booming up 550 something thousand% from previous years, and it's just like I'm putting.
Oh no, it's coming because America's slowly on the decline.
Yeah,
I feel as though the rich people are just sucking whatever they can out of it, and then eventually it's gonna collapse in on itself, and they're just gonna move out in other countries because they have the financial freedom, and the poor people are gonna be left to figure shit out.
Yeah, and I was saying this in regards to let's say like China. Like China is now one of the superpowers of the world, but they, an empire wasn't built in a day. So they've been building this for decades,
and we've been tearing it down for decades.
But like it's just like now in the last couple of years, finally getting that like you can't ignore it. Like
ignore
before,
what?
Yeah, like
China building up.
Yeah, them being the superpower.
Yeah. I mean, they giving loans over to Africa that they know Africans can't pay back. And I know them rich Africans. Some of them gonna do some good stuff with it. Some of them are gonna fuck off with the money.
What's going on, Steve?
And then they're gonna be left to. I don't know how that's gonna play out. Cause I know China gonna come over and be like, all right, what are you gonna pay us back? Like,
it's like, but yeah, like I said, it might be a situation where it's like because Africa's like such huge content. It's not really and they haven't really they tapped in, but they haven't
gonna
really
be unity.
Yeah, they haven't really built upon it like to maximize it like they did with China. It might be in the next like 25, 30 years.
I don't know. I feel like for enough black celebrities, because man, they flew out Jadakiss to Zimbabwe. Come on, man. If enough black celebrities, I'm pretty sure them African leaders got their favorites. You fly over, you talk to that dude, like, come on, bro, like, get all that bullshit, and then y'all get together, like, it'd be cool.
Yeah, it could be. That's the thing though. I don't see somebody like Jadakiss like, yeah, I'm going African.
No, you can pull it up on YouTube right now. He went to
no, but I mean like developing there.
Oh, it was Swaziland. Talking about.
I don't see him going like, I'm in Africa, boy.
No, he was though. He was with the locks.
Yeah. So but again, like, and we see that like.
And it was during the war too, like, which is how crazy shit is with the wealth. Like, you look at it, like it's the same shit. You give a guy some money, he gonna forget about you.
Yeah, they gonna like we're gonna put all that beef.
Forget where you know what I'm saying? They're gonna forget where they came from, and they're not gonna care about the people below them. So you can't just look at it as skin color, because that same black man can and might fuck you over just as bad as a white man. You may not feel you may feel worse about it because it's actually somebody else's complexion.
Yeah, but
you know that this is black, so you come over here and you do your thug dizzle with it and maneuver how you do and build up with it and know that this is black. It's not the white man's land. This is black.
Yeah, you ain't paying no taxes. Exactly. He like this is mine.
This is mine. I ain't giving the white people my money.
And with that, like, because like I'm not really like hip to it. What's the tax like over there? Like, is it or is it just like you buy it? Because I remember Trevor Noah, like, he wasn't necessarily like talking about. Yeah, he actually did.
I know it's very corrupt, and my dad has like a exporting company, and you gotta break off everybody at every level.
It sounds like some Narcos kind
of. Bro, a little bit, yeah. You gotta break off everybody. The niggas at the port, the niggas at the port, security. You gotta break everybody off some money. Like, that's how it is. I guess that's the tax, really.
Yeah, like.
Whoever you got grease some hands.
That's that under the table tax.
That's like, and it ain't on paper. That's better.
Yeah. So, but again, once you see, but with something like that, and we seen this with the cartel, it's just like a lot of it crumbles because like people get greedy. A lot
of what crumbles?
Like those empires that was built on like drugs. And I'm not gonna say
I don't think it crumbles. I think America throws some in there to make it crumble. Because Pablo could have been good.
Yeah.
He could have been good. You feel me?
Well, I mean, like
El Chapo, they all could have been good.
Even with the African extortion.
What do you mean?
No, I'm just saying. I'm playing. Like,
oh, you mean
was,
but that's what I'm saying. If you build the infrastructure of Americans coming over to Africa, you wouldn't really have that. Now you'd be dealing with more Americans than Africans.
True. Yeah. But man, I don't know. Like, again, like I said, I think it's something we might really end up seeing.
And then eventually, over time, you'll get rid of all them labels because you've been in Africa so long. You just African.
Break down that barrier.
Hey, that's it.
That's a colossal step. That's generational. That's stuff that you implement now that your kids gonna be, because that's a
like when I saw you, I didn't know you had white in you. I just saw black.
That's a hard ship to get everybody on board. I'm gonna tell you, like
it really shouldn't be though.
It shouldn't be, but I'm gonna tell you now, it's something that's gonna be instilled, like,
I don't know
generational.
Why. I don't know why.
It's like,
why wouldn't you just want to be one thing instead of having like something that divides you?
You're right about that, but again, not everybody think like you. You know what I mean? You got to get everybody, and that's why I said it's gonna be hard.
Is that my car, fam?
It might be. Did you press it?
No, I ain't pressing no button, but I don't.
Right.
I'm sitting on my keys though.
Yeah, I'll feel you. But he said,
"Yo, is that sweat on
Joey
me, fam?
Damn,
I'm sweating."
But all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Man, this was
been 40 minutes.
Yeah. Man, this was a really good debate, though, man. I appreciate it.
We can do this anytime, bro.
Yeah, this is a good one. Definitely, we'll have to have you back on the show. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in again to Yatta Debates. We will have another episode for y'all soon. And this was Yatta Debates 4 with E. We'll have the live stream up on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to go back and get everything set up. All right. So we'll catch y'all later. Boom.
Oh, someone just said a comment.
I know, right?
You should cut them.
Well, man, he should have been faster.
Yeah, he really should have. Shit, dubbed.